In the name of family? Bullshit. You've poisoned everything you touch. And now it's time you choke on your own venom. Evelyn Washington's voice tears through the mahogany boardroom like a thunderclap, her 61 years of Harlem grit compressed into pure, unfiltered rage. Her fist slams down hard enough to rattle the crystal water glasses, diamond rings catching the fluorescent lights like shards of broken promises. The room explodes into chaos. Across the table, her daughter Sophia signs with wild, desperate fury, tears carving rivers down her 23-year-old face. Her hands move so fast they blur, each gesture a scream her voice can't make. Behind her, Lena Thompson stands transformed. The once timid waitress, now a warrior armed with evidence, her laptop projecting a web of lies so thick it strangles the air itself. Papers scatter like autumn leaves in a hurricane. Security crashes through the double doors. And there, crumpling like wet cardboard, sits the man who started it all, Sophia's father, his toxic empire reduced to rubble at his feet. But hold on, because this inferno didn't start in a boardroom. It started 3 months ago with a simple dinner reservation. 3 months earlier, Manhattan's Upper East Side gleamed under October twilight, all polished glass and old money arrogance. Evelyn Washington stepped out of her black Mercedes, her tailored charcoal power suit sharp enough to cut through the pretension hanging in the autumn air. She had built her tech empire from a Harlem studio apartment and 200 borrowed dollars. Now, she commanded boardrooms from New York to Singapore. Beside her, Sophia practically vibrated with excitement, her hands dancing in American Sign Language as she described her latest gallery exhibit. 23 and unstoppable, she wore her deafness like armor, turning what others saw as limitation into artistic fuel. Her paintings screamed what her voice couldn't, and collectors were finally listening. Le Bernardin rose before them, all understated elegance and Michelin-starred reputation, the kind of place where a single appetizer cost more than most people's weekly groceries. Evelyn held the door for her daughter, her protective instincts always humming just beneath the surface. The maitre d' recognized them immediately. Of course he did. The Washington name opened doors from Wall Street to Washington Heights. They glided past tables of hedge fund managers and fashion editors, past the imported marble and the soft jazz that cost $300 an hour to license. That's when Evelyn saw her. The waitress approaching their corner table moved like she was trying to disappear into the wallpaper. Mid-20s, maybe. Pale hands trembling just slightly as she balanced the leather-bound menus. Her eyes stayed fixed on the floor, dark hair pulled back so tight it looked like it hurt. Everything about her screamed retreat, run, hide. But Sophia didn't notice the fear. She noticed the name tag, Lena. Sophia's hands moved in fluid, ASL, requesting water with lemon, her usual. And then something extraordinary happened. Lena's entire face transformed. Her hands rose without hesitation, signing back with perfect grammar, perfect emotion, perfect understanding. Her smile broke through like sunrise after a month of rain. Evelyn's New York sharpened instincts went on high alert. This wasn't some waitress who'd learned a few basic signs for accessibility training. This was fluency. This was education. This was a story begging to be told. Sophia lit up like Times Square on New Year's Eve, immediately launching into an animated conversation about art, isolation, the weird beauty of finding someone who spoke your language. Lena responded with warmth that felt genuine, real, the kind you can't fake even if you try. Evelyn watched, calculated, assessed. She'd built an empire by reading people, by seeing the truths they tried to bury. And Lena Thompson was burying something deep. When Sophia excused herself to the restroom, Evelyn made her move. Casual, unthreatening, just two women making conversation over bread baskets and butter shaped like tiny roses. So where'd you learn to sign like that? Lena's smile flickered. Columbia. Linguistics major. Her voice was soft, practiced in the art of not being heard. I specialized in ASL acquisition and deaf culture. Columbia. That was a $200,000 education, serving seafood to people who wouldn't remember her face tomorrow. Evelyn's internal alarms started ringing louder. That's quite a background for this line of work. Not judging, just curious. The walls went up so fast Evelyn could practically hear them slam. Lena's hands found her apron pocket, twisting the fabric like a lifeline. Things didn't work out, family stuff. You know how it is. But her eyes told a different story. They told tales of sabotage and betrayal, of dreams crushed under someone's heel, of a past so toxic it had poisoned her future. Evelyn had seen that look before. In the mirror, 20 years ago. Sophia returned, oblivious to the tension, and the conversation shifted back to safe territory. Art galleries, restaurant recommendations, the weird charm of New York subway musicians. But Evelyn kept watching, kept cataloging every micro-expression, every flinch, every moment Lena's guard slipped. As they finished their entrees, Evelyn slipped a business card across the table. Matte black, embossed gold lettering. Simple, powerful, impossible to forget. Kid, you've got fire under that shy shell. She leaned in, her voice low but fierce. Call me if you need to burn something down. Lena's fingers closed around the card like it was a grenade. Her eyes met Evelyn's for the first time all night, searching, questioning, desperate. Then she nodded once and disappeared into the kitchen's organized chaos. That night, Evelyn sat in her penthouse office, the city sprawling beneath her like a conquered kingdom. Her laptop screen glowed in the darkness as she typed Lena Thompson Columbia Linguistics into the search bar. What came back made her blood run cold. Academic scholarship revoked. Thesis committee disbanded. Promising career imploded before it even started. And threading through every article, every forum post, every desperate LinkedIn update, one word kept appearing. Family. Evelyn's jaw tightened. She knew that particular brand of poison. She'd tasted it herself once, a lifetime ago, and she'd be damned if she let another bright mind get strangled by the people who were supposed to protect it. She reached for her phone, already composing the text to her private investigator. Because Evelyn Washington didn't just build empires, she burned down the things that needed burning. And something told her Lena Thompson's family was overdue for a reckoning. The city sprawls beneath Evelyn's penthouse windows like a conquered kingdom, 43 floors of glass and ambition, separating her from the Harlem streets that raised her. She sips black coffee, bitter and strong, watching dawn paint the skyline in shades of gold she once thought were reserved for other people. The view never lets her forget. Every tower, every bridge, every glittering light is a reminder of the climb. And the people who tried to pull her back down. Her own family had been vultures disguised as blood relatives, cousins who borrowed money and called her greedy when she asked for it back, an uncle who tried to sue for a cut of her first startup, a mother who weaponized guilt like it was an Olympic sport. Evelyn had built her empire in spite of them, not because of them. The penthouse door crashes open. Sophia bursts in like a hurricane in human form, her hands already flying in animated ASL. Mom, we have to help her. Lena. She feels like family. Evelyn nearly chokes on her coffee. Honey, family's a loaded gun in this town. Half the time it backfires. But Sophia isn't backing down. Her signs grow more insistent, more passionate. She describes Lena's kindness, her genuine warmth, the way her eyes lit up when they connected. Please, Mom, just give her a chance. Evelyn sighs, recognizing her daughter's stubborn streak because she put it there herself. Fine, invite her for lunch, but casual. None of that Le Bernardin nonsense. 2 days later, Lena Thompson stands outside Evelyn's building, staring up at the glass tower like it might swallow her whole. Her faded jeans and simple white blouse feel 3 tax brackets too poor for this neighborhood. Her hands shake as she presses the intercom button. The doorman ushers her in with the kind of courtesy that costs extra. The elevator ride to the 43rd floor feels like ascending into another dimension. When the doors open directly into the penthouse, Lena's breath catches. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Manhattan like a painting. Modern art that probably costs more than her student loans, hangs on exposed brick walls. But it's the smell that stops her cold. Collard greens, cornbread, the scent of Southern comfort food wafting from a kitchen that probably has appliances worth more than her car. Evelyn emerges, wiping her hands on a dish towel, dressed down in jeans and a cashmere sweater that still screams money. Relax, kid. I don't bite unless you give me a reason. Sophia greets Lena with an enthusiastic hug, immediately pulling her toward the dining table where mismatched dishes wait. Evelyn believes in mixing the fancy with the familiar. Grandmother's china next to Target napkins. A $2,000 bottle of wine beside sweet tea in mason jars. They eat, and slowly, carefully, Lena's walls begin to crack. It started young, she says, pushing collard greens around her plate. My parents, they had this way of making everything a competition. They'd pit me against my brother Marcus, my sister Claire against both of us. Whoever performed best got love. The rest got silence. Evelyn's jaw tightens. She knows this playbook by heart. Lena's voice drops lower. I had this idea in grad school. A fintech platform using AI to make banking accessible for deaf and disabled communities. Revolutionary stuff. I was naive enough to share it with Marcus. She laughs, but it's hollow. He stole everything. Every line of code, every pitch, every connection. Then he framed me as the thief when I tried to fight back. The room goes cold. Evelyn sees herself 25 years ago, watching her own cousin patent her software design under his name. Sees every black woman who ever had her ideas stolen, her voice dismissed, her brilliance attributed to someone else. Sophia's hands move gently. That's evil. Lena nods, tears threatening. My parents backed him, said I was being dramatic, ungrateful, that I should be happy for family success. The university believed them. My scholarship vanished. My thesis committee disbanded. 5 years of work gone like smoke. Evelyn stands, her chair scraping against hardwood. That's not family. That's parasites wearing familiar faces. Before anyone can respond, Lena's phone erupts. Unknown number. Her hand freezes over it, trembling. She answers on speaker, and a woman's voice slices through like a blade. Lena Marie Thompson, you have some nerve. Claire's voice drips with manufactured hurt. Abandoning the family like we're nothing. Mom's been sick, and you can't even bother to call. Lena's face crumbles. I didn't know she was sick. Nobody told me. Because you cut us off. You chose your pride over family. Do you know how that looks? How that feels? Evelyn snatches the phone, her voice pure steel. Abandonment? Sounds like survival to me. Her New York accent sharpens. This is Evelyn Washington, and unless you've got something constructive to say, lose this number. She hangs up. The silence that follows feels like the moment after lightning before thunder hits. Lena's crying now, full-body sobs that shake her shoulders. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought this into your home. Evelyn kneels beside her chair, surprising herself with the gentleness. Listen to me. I've been where you are. Different details, same poison. And I'm here to tell you something crucial. She grips Lena's hands. Your pain doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be the fuel. She stands, decision made. I'm offering you a job, personal assistant, good salary, benefits, and a chance to rebuild everything they took from you. Let's turn your pain into power, girl. Lena looks up, disbelief and hope warring on her face. I don't know if I can. Yes, you can. Because you already survived the worst part. The rest is just paperwork. Lena hesitates, flashbacks hitting like punches. Her mother's gaslighting. You're too sensitive, Lena. Your father's manipulation. If you loved us, you'd understand. Marcus's smirk as he signed the patent papers. The university dean's dismissive tone. We have no choice but to revoke your status. But then she looks at Evelyn, at Sophia, at this unexpected lifeline dangling in front of her. Okay, she whispers it first, then stronger. Okay, yes. Sophia claps, signing her excitement. But then her hands freeze mid-movement. Her face drains of color as she stares at Lena. She pulls out her phone, scrolling frantically through emails, her expression shifting from confusion to horror. Mom, her signs are sharp, urgent. Thompson, Lena Thompson. Evelyn frowns. What about it? Sophia's hands shake as she signs. I've seen that name before, in an email, 3 weeks ago. Someone named Thompson contacted Dad about something. About me. The room tilts. Lena's face mirrors Sophia's shock, neither understanding but both sensing the ground shifting beneath them. Evelyn's voice cuts through like a knife. Show me that email. Now. Autumn in New York hits different when you're on the 47th floor of a glass tower, watching the city remake itself in shades of gold and crimson. Evelyn's corner office overlooks Madison Avenue, all sleek chrome and floor-to-ceiling windows, the kind of space that announces power before you even open your mouth. Lena sits across from her, absorbing every word like her life depends on it. Because maybe it does. In this city, trust is currency. Evelyn taps a pen against her desk, her reading glasses perched on her nose. Spend it wisely or go broke. And honey, bankruptcy here isn't just financial. 3 weeks in, and Lena's transformation is already visible. The timid waitress is fading, replaced by someone sharper, hungrier. She catches business strategies faster than most MBA graduates Evelyn's hired. Her insights on market accessibility for disabled communities are brilliant, revolutionary even, the kind of thinking that changes industries. But her phone keeps ringing, and every time, Lena's face closes up like a steel trap. One afternoon, Evelyn watches Lena stare at another voicemail notification. Listen to it. Her voice is gentle but firm. Whatever it is, it loses power when you face it. Lena's finger hovers over the play button, then she hits speaker. Her mother's voice oozes through like syrup laced with arsenic. Lena Marie, after all we've done for you, this is how you repay us? Your father worked himself to the bone to put you through school. Your brother's been asking about you. We're family, sweetheart. Family doesn't just walk away. The guilt drips from every word, thick and suffocating. Lena's hands shake as she deletes it. They've called 17 times this week. Evelyn's jaw tightens. Tell me about them. The real story. So Lena does. The words tumble out like she's been holding them behind a dam for years. Her parents always favored Marcus. Always. When she brought home straight A's, they asked why she wasn't more social. When she won the Columbia scholarship, her father said it was unladylike for a girl like you to be so ambitious. Every achievement was minimized. Every dream was too big. She describes the subtle cruelties, the way her mother would compare her to Marcus at dinner, the way her father would forget her birthday but throw Marcus lavish parties, the way her sister Claire learned to weaponize their parents' favoritism, turning it into a competition Lena could never win. Evelyn listens, her own scars throbbing in recognition. I know that particular brand of poison. She leans back, memories flooding. My father walked out when I was 7, just gone. Left my mama with 3 kids in a Brooklyn apartment she couldn't afford. Lena looks up, surprised. And you know what my relatives did? Evelyn's laugh is sharp. They smelled opportunity. Aunts, uncles, cousins I barely knew, all of them coming around with their hands out. When my first app took off, I had family members I hadn't seen in a decade filing lawsuits, claiming I owed them. She shakes her head. I learned real quick that blood doesn't mean loyalty. The shared pain sits between them like a third presence in the room. Later that week, Lena's scrolling through emails when she bursts out laughing. The sound startles even her. Listen to this. She reads aloud in a pompous voice, mimicking her brother. Dear investment partners, as the visionary founder of Thompson Fintech Solutions, I invite you to witness revolutionary innovation in accessible banking paradigms. Evelyn grins. Sounds like a Wall Street wannabe with a trust fund ego and a thesaurus he doesn't understand. They laugh together, the tension breaking like a fever, but the relief doesn't last. Because Sophia's been different lately, distant, She signs vague responses about old friends when asked about her day. Her eyes slide away from direct questions. Something's shifting, and Evelyn can feel it like pressure before a storm. The gala fundraiser at the Metropolitan Museum hits on a Friday night, all glittering gowns and champagne that costs more per glass than most people's dinners. Evelyn works the room with practiced ease, Lena at her side learning the dance of high society networking. Sophia mingles near the Egyptian wing, her emerald dress catching light like water. Lena excuses herself to the restroom, cutting through a shadowed corridor lined with ancient artifacts. That's when she hears it, the sharp, angry movements of ASL conversation around the corner. She recognizes Sophia's signing style immediately, but the other person makes her blood freeze. She peeks around the marble column and sees him, Marcus, her brother, arguing with Sophia in sign language, his movements aggressive, demanding. Sophia's face is stricken, guilty, her hands defensive. Lena stumbles backward, her heel catching on marble. The sound echoes. They both turn. Marcus's face shifts from anger to cruel satisfaction. Sophia's drains of all color. The confrontation explodes in the penthouse an hour later. Evelyn stands like a judge, arms crossed, while Sophia's tears stream, and Lena shakes with betrayal. The truth spills out in fragments, each one a knife. Sophia dated Marcus, briefly. 2 years ago at a Columbia mixer. She didn't understand the family dynamics. He was charming, attentive, everything he wasn't at home. And when she mentioned her new friend Lena Thompson, the brilliant linguistics student with the innovative fintech idea, he'd been so interested, so supportive, so manipulative. I didn't know, Sophia signs desperately. I just thought I was helping you connect with your brother. I sent him your thesis outline, your pitch deck. I thought it was what siblings did. Lena can't breathe. Everything stolen. Everything ruined. And Sophia, the one person who felt safe, had been the weapon all along. Evelyn pulls them both close, her strength the only thing holding the room together. This is what toxic families do. They infect everything they touch. But we're going to cut out the rot. She looks at both of them, fierce and protective. We're rewriting the rules, ladies. No more playing small. No more letting poisonous people dictate our worth. The moment of solidarity, of feminine power reclaimed, feels like sunlight breaking through clouds. Then the doorbell rings. Late. Too late for visitors. The doorman's voice crackles through the intercom. Miss Washington, a package was left for you. No return address. Evelyn opens the unmarked envelope with steady hands. Inside, a single photograph. It's Lena, leaving the penthouse 3 days ago. Across the bottom, words scrawled in red ink. She belongs to us, not you. The Thompsons always collect what's ours. The room goes cold, and somewhere in the city below, a toxic family sharpens its knives. Rain hammers against the penthouse windows like 1,000 tiny accusations, Manhattan disappearing behind sheets of water and fury. The city that never sleeps is drowning tonight. And inside Evelyn's war room, 3 women are preparing to drown someone else. Evelyn paces like a caged lioness, her reading glasses perched on her head, laptop open on the dining table that's now covered in documents, printouts, and cold coffee. Lena sits hunched over financial records, her hands shaking. Sophia translates data into visual charts, her artistic eye finding patterns the numbers tried to hide. And the pattern is damning. Look at this. Evelyn stabs a finger at her screen. Your brother didn't just steal your patents. He laundered them through 3 different shell companies. Thompson Tech Solutions, Accessible Innovations LLC, Future Finance Group, all registered to P.O. boxes in Delaware, all funded by the same offshore account. Lena's face goes white. That's sophisticated fraud. Evelyn's laugh is bitter. It's exactly what my cousin tried to pull on me 15 years ago. Family shares, they called it. Claimed because they helped babysit my kids once, they deserved a piece of my company. She shakes her head. I spent $200,000 in legal fees, proving they were thieves in relatives' clothing. The similarities are too perfect to be coincidence. Someone taught Marcus this playbook. Lena stands abruptly, her chair scraping against hardwood. Her voice rises, raw and jagged with years of suppressed rage. They didn't just steal my work. They stole my voice. Every presentation I couldn't give. Every patent with someone else's name. Every investor meeting where I was the ghost in my own innovation. She's shaking now, tears streaming. I wasn't just robbed, I was erased. Sophia crosses the room, pulling Lena into a fierce hug. The guilt radiates off her in waves, her signs gentle against Lena's back. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Lena pulls back, looking at Sophia with something between forgiveness and devastation. He used you, your deafness, your isolation, just like my parents used mine. Sophia nods, her own tears falling. He made me feel special, like I was the only one who understood him. Then he'd disappear for days, come back with excuses. She signs slowly, painfully. He isolated me from my friends, made me doubt my own perceptions. When I'd question him, he'd say I was being paranoid, that my deafness made me misunderstand. The parallels are suffocating. Two women, different disabilities, same manipulation tactics. The family playbook runs deep. Evelyn grabs a bottle of bourbon from her bar. 3 glasses. Well, if we're doing family drama, let's at least add some bourbon. New York style. She pours generous amounts. We can cry and strategize. Multitasking at its finest. The moment of levity cracks the tension just enough to breathe. Then the doorbell rings. The intercom crackles. Miss Washington. A woman insists on seeing Lena Thompson. Says she's her mother. She's quite persistent. Lena's entire body goes rigid. No. Her voice is barely a whisper. No, no, no. Evelyn's eyes narrow. Let her up. Her voice is steel. Time to face the dragon. Mrs. Thompson enters like she owns the place, all fake pearls and manufactured concern. Mid-60s, hair sprayed into submission, the kind of woman who weaponizes respectability. Lena, sweetheart, her voice drips honey laced with arsenic. We've been so worried. Lena stands frozen, years of conditioning rooting her in place. You look thin, dear. Mrs. Thompson moves closer, her eyes scanning the penthouse with barely concealed envy. All this time, you've been here, living in luxury while your family suffers? Her tone shifts, sharpening. After everything we sacrificed for you. Evelyn steps between them. Lady, I'm going to stop you right there. Mrs. Thompson's smile is saccharine. And you must be the woman who's been filling my daughter's head with lies. We had our challenges, yes, but Lena always exaggerates. She's sensitive, dramatic, always has been. The gaslighting is so smooth it's almost art. Lena's voice cracks. You locked me in my room for days when I questioned Marcus. You told the school I was unstable when I reported him cheating off my homework. Mrs. Thompson waves a dismissive hand. You were troubled, dear. We were protecting you from yourself. Evelyn's voice cuts like a blade. Your love is poison, and you need to step off before I make you. Mrs. Thompson's mask slips, revealing the venom beneath. You have no right to interfere in family matters. She advances on Lena. You're coming home. Now. When Lena doesn't move, Mrs. Thompson's hand flashes out. The slap echoes through the penthouse like a gunshot. Lena's head snaps to the side, her cheek blooming red. The room explodes. Evelyn hits the security button on her phone. Get up here, now. Her voice is lethal calm. And call the police. We have an assailant. Mrs. Thompson's eyes widen. You wouldn't dare. Watch me. Evelyn steps closer, a lioness protecting her pride. You just committed assault in my home, in front of witnesses. Your reign of terror ends today. Security arrives within 90 seconds. Mrs. Thompson leaves in handcuffs, her threats and curses echoing down the hallway. The first act of revenge, and it tastes like justice. But the victory is short-lived. Sophia's been digging through the financial records while chaos erupted. Her hands start signing frantically, her face draining of color. "Mom, you need to see this." The document she pulls up makes the room tilt. Wire transfer records. $300,000 from an account Evelyn recognizes immediately. Her ex-husband. Sophia's father. Paid directly to Marcus Thompson 18 months ago. The memo line reads, "Washington Revenge Fund." The pieces slam together with sickening clarity. This wasn't just about stealing Lena's work. This was about hurting Evelyn. Using Lena as a weapon. Using Sophia as an unwitting accomplice. A toxic man funding a toxic family to destroy everything Evelyn built. The despair that crashes over them is oceanic. Sophia's crying so hard she can barely sign. "My father did this. Because of me." No. Evelyn pulls both women close, her strength the anchor in the storm. "Because he's a vindictive bastard who can't handle my success. This isn't on you, either of you." Lena's voice is small. "What do we do?" Evelyn's smile is sharp enough to cut. "We fight back. Together." They spend the next 6 hours coordinating with Evelyn's legal team, her cybersecurity experts, her investigators. Everything above board, everything legal, but ruthlessly efficient. By dawn, they've hacked into Marcus's email server with a court-ordered warrant, uncovering a digital trail of fraud that would make a prosecutor weep with joy. Patent theft, identity fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy. The evidence is overwhelming. Evelyn leans back in her chair, exhaustion and triumph mixing on her face. She looks at her makeshift family, these women forged in fire and betrayal, and her smile goes predatory. Game on, bastards. Midnight bleeds into 1 a.m., then 2, the Manhattan skyline, a galaxy of sleepless ambition beyond the windows. Evelyn's war room looks like a detective's fever dream, charts taped to walls, laptops glowing like campfires, empty coffee cups multiplying like evidence of obsession. The three women move through the space like ghosts, exhaustion etched into every movement. But something's shifted. The air feels different, thicker. Lena watches Sophia scroll through Marcus's emails, and paranoia slithers in like smoke under a door. She sees the way Sophia's face softens at certain messages, the way her fingers pause over his name. "You're defending him." Lena's voice cuts through the silence like glass. "Still, after everything." Sophia's head snaps up, her hands immediately flying into defensive ASL. "I'm not defending anyone. I'm looking for evidence." But Lena's weeks of suppressed rage find a target. "You dated him. You gave him my work. Maybe you're still on his side. Maybe this whole guilty act is just another performance." Sophia's signs turn sharp, angry. "How dare you? I was a victim too." The argument escalates, hands moving faster, more violently. Silence screaming in a language of fury and hurt. Accusations pile up like kindling waiting for a match. "Enough," Evelyn's voice thunders through the penthouse. Both women freeze. "We are not them." She points between them, her finger a weapon. "Don't let their toxicity infect us." That's how they win. The silence that follows trembles with almost apologies. Evelyn sinks into her chair, and for a moment, she's not the billionaire. She's 17 again, standing in a Harlem kitchen, while her mother's words cut deeper than any blade. "You'll never be nothing. Just another black girl with big dreams and no sense." Her mother's face, twisted with bitterness born from her own broken dreams, spitting venom disguised as tough love. She'd built her first business in that toxic house, coding in a closet to escape the verbal abuse, using her mother's cruelty as fuel. Every "you can't" became a "watch me." Every "you're worthless" became a balance sheet that proved otherwise. The memory passes. Evelyn looks at Lena, sees the same fire born from the same darkness. "We need food." Evelyn pulls out her phone, scrolling for delivery. Nothing says revenge like carbs and conspiracy. She glances up. "Who wants pepperoni?" The tension cracks. Sophia manages a watery smile. "Extra cheese." They're waiting for pizza when Sophia's hands start moving, slow and deliberate. There's something I need to tell you. Her face crumples. Something I did. The room goes still. 5 years ago, I was in a bad place. Sophia's signs shake. Depression. Isolation. Dad said he wanted to help, to set up a trust for my future. She swallows hard. He had me sign papers. Said it was standard estate planning. Evelyn's blood goes cold. What papers? Sophia pulls up documents on her laptop, her hands trembling. I didn't understand the legal language, but looking at them now, with everything we know. She turns the screen. I signed over your old patents, Mom. The original blockchain security protocols. I gave them to Dad. The world tilts sideways. Evelyn stares at the screen, at her daughter's signature, at the date, at the betrayal in black and white. Her voice comes out broken, barely a whisper. My own blood? The words hang in the air like shattered glass. Everything she built, every protection she put in place, and her own daughter became the weapon. Not maliciously, not intentionally, but the damage is the same. Sophia's sobbing now, signing through tears. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I was so lost. Lena crosses to Evelyn, and in that moment, their roles reverse. She holds the woman who saved her, offering back the strength she was given. The next morning, they need coffee. Real coffee. The kind you can't make at home. They're 3 blocks from the penthouse. At a corner bodega Evelyn's been coming to for 20 years, when Marcus appears. He blocks the sidewalk, all designer suit and manufactured confidence. Well, the little revolution. His smile is poison. You really think you can touch me? My lawyers will destroy you. Evelyn doesn't flinch. She steps forward, and her New York comes out sharp and lethal. You think you're slick? I've eaten sharks like you for breakfast and used their teeth as toothpicks. She leans in. Your amateur hour fraud? Please. I was dismantling corporate espionage before you learned to tie your shoes. Marcus's confidence wavers. My family will. Your family is about to learn what happens when you mess with mine. Evelyn's smile could cut steel. Now get out of my sight before I add harassment to the list of charges. He leaves. They watch him go. A small victory in a larger war. By afternoon, the lawsuit is filed. Patent theft, fraud, conspiracy. The evidence is ironclad. Evelyn's legal team moves like a surgical strike, precise and devastating. Then the call comes. Lena's phone lights up. Unknown number. She answers on speaker, and her father's voice creeps through, weak and wavering. Lena, baby girl, I'm dying. Stage 4, pancreatic cancer. The doctors say weeks, maybe. Lena's face goes white. What? I need to see you, to apologize, to make things right before I go. His voice cracks perfectly. Please, I'm your father. Don't let me die alone. The manipulation is so smooth it's almost invisible. The dying father card, the ultimate guilt trip. Lena's walls start crumbling, pity warring with fury. Evelyn takes the phone. Mr. Thompson, this is Evelyn Washington. If you're truly dying, you'll use your last days to tell the truth, to confess what you did. Otherwise, your deathbed means nothing. She hangs up, looks at Lena's devastated face. If he's really sick, we'll know soon enough. If he's lying, we just called his bluff. The emotions swing like a pendulum. Hope and rage, pity and hatred. The toxic pull of family obligations versus the clean cut of boundaries. That night, the 3 women sit in the penthouse, exhausted and battered but still standing. Evelyn pulls them both close, these women who've become her real family through fire and revelation. Family isn't blood. Her voice is fierce and gentle. It's who fights with you when the world tries to break you. It's who holds you together when you're falling apart. Sophia signs against her mother's shoulder. I love you, both of you. Lena nods, tears streaming. We're going to win this, together. Outside, Manhattan glitters with possibility and danger. Somewhere in that city, a toxic family prepares their next move. But in the penthouse, 3 women forge armor from their scars. The war is far from over, but they're done fighting alone. Sirens scream through Manhattan traffic like wounded animals, clearing a path for Evelyn's black limousine as it cuts through the morning chaos toward the federal courthouse. Inside, 3 women sit in tailored armor, power suits, and steely determination, preparing for a war fought with words instead of weapons. Lena's hands shake despite her best efforts. Sophia keeps signing encouragement, her movements gentle. Evelyn leans forward, her voice low and fierce. Stand tall, speak truth, they've got nothing on our fire. The courthouse steps are a madhouse. News cameras, reporters shouting questions, a small crowd of supporters holding signs. Justice for Lena. End family abuse. Toxic families. Destroy lives. The movement has grown beyond them, becoming something bigger, something that matters to people they've never met. Security ushers them through a side entrance, away from the circus, into the cold marble halls of justice. The courtroom smells like old wood and broken promises. Judge Martinez presides, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who looks like she's seen every con game ever invented. The prosecution calls Lena Thompson to the stand. Every step to that witness box feels like walking through fire. Lena's hands grip the Bible as she swears to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Her voice starts soft, shaking, but grows stronger with each word. She tells it all, the embezzlement of her ideas, the shell companies traced back to Marcus, the way her parents turned her siblings into weapons, pitting them against each other for scraps of approval, how her father drained her student accounts to fund Marcus's fraudulent company, how her mother's emotional abuse left scars deeper than any physical wound. The courtroom is silent except for her voice, breaking and rebuilding with every sentence. It's the American nightmare packaged as family values, reputation destroyed by lies, financial security stolen by the people who should have protected it, dreams deferred because trust was weaponized. Every person over 40 in that courtroom sees themselves in some fragment of her story. Marcus's lawyer tries to break her on cross-examination, suggesting she's bitter, jealous, lying. But Lena doesn't flinch. She recites dates, emails, bank transfers. She produces evidence like she's building a cathedral of truth, brick by irrefutable brick. During a brief recess, Evelyn leans toward Judge Martinez. Your Honor, if lies were taxable, they'd owe the IRS a fortune. The judge's lips twitch, almost a smile. Noted, Miss Washington. Then the defense calls their surprise witness, Sophia's father, Richard Washington, Evelyn's ex-husband. The courtroom gasps. Even Evelyn's composure cracks for a microsecond. Richard takes the stand in an expensive suit that can't hide the decay underneath. He's 58 but looks 70, bitterness aging him in dog years. And then he does the unthinkable. He confesses. I orchestrated the entire scheme. His voice carries the weight of toxic jealousy fermented over decades. Evelyn built an empire while I struggled. She succeeded where I failed. So I found Marcus Thompson, a hungry young man with flexible morals, and I funded his theft of Lena's work. The courtroom erupts. The judge slams her gavel. Richard continues, venom dripping from every word. I used my own daughter to access Evelyn's patents. I manipulated Sophia during her depression. I wanted to reclaim what should have been mine. Evelyn's wealth, her success, her power. Evelyn's face is stone, but her eyes glitter with unshed tears. The hearing ends in chaos. Journalists sprint for doors. Lawyers huddle in urgent whispers. But Evelyn asks for a private room, just her and Richard, 5 minutes supervised. They sit across a metal table in a sterile conference room. 2 people who once loved each other, now separated by canyons of hurt. You broke me once. Evelyn's voice cracks, tears finally falling. You made me doubt my worth, made me feel like my success was luck instead of work. But look at me now. Richard can't meet her eyes. I was weak, jealous. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't undo a decade of sabotage. But Evelyn feels something shift inside her, a weight lifting. This isn't about him anymore. It never was. It's about her, about healing, about moving forward. She stands. Goodbye, Richard. For real this time. Outside the courthouse, the crowd has swelled to hundreds, women mostly, holding signs about toxic families and female empowerment. Survivors, recognizing survivors. The movement is bigger than one billionaire and one waitress. It's a reckoning. Then Sophia's phone erupts with notifications, news alerts. Lena's mother attempted suicide. Or so the headline claims. They race to the hospital, only to find Mrs. Thompson sitting up in bed, perfectly fine, a single superficial cut on her wrist, bandaged for maximum sympathy. The nurses whisper about attention-seeking. The doctors look exhausted. It's manipulation at its finest. The final play for pity. Lena stands at the foot of the bed, looking at the woman who birthed her and broke her. Do we press on? The question hangs heavy. Is justice worth pushing a desperate woman over the edge? Even a toxic one? Evelyn pulls Lena aside. Mercy and justice aren't enemies. We can pursue restitution without destruction. Drop the minor charges. Focus on the financial crimes, the fraud. Make them pay back what they stole, but don't make them martyrs. It's the hardest decision. The moral high ground always is. They're filing the amended charges when Evelyn's lead investigator bursts in, laptop in hand. You need to see this. Now. Hidden recordings. Audio files recovered from Richard's seized devices. His voice, clear as day, discussing fraud with multiple shell companies. Wire transfers to offshore accounts. Tax evasion spanning 15 years. Conspiracy with other executives to manipulate stock prices. This isn't just about Lena anymore. This is federal crimes on a massive scale. The stakes just went from personal vendetta to national scandal. Richard Washington didn't just destroy his ex-wife and fund a family's toxicity. He built an empire of fraud, and it's all on tape. Evelyn looks at the evidence, then at Lena, then at Sophia. Her daughter, collateral damage in a war she never asked for. Her protege, a survivor forged in fire. Her family, the one she chose. The reckoning isn't over, it's just getting started. And this time, they're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for every person who ever had their dreams stolen by someone who claimed to love them. The game just changed, and Evelyn Washington always wins the games that matter. The city never sleeps, and neither does Evelyn Washington. For 3 days straight, she runs on espresso and rage, coordinating with her team like a general, planning a siege. Security footage, bank records, encrypted communications. Her tech specialists work around the clock. Digital forensics experts who've helped her build and protect her empire now weaponizing their skills for justice. Late night stakeouts become routine. Evelyn sits in unmarked cars outside Marcus's luxury condo, watching patterns, logging visitors, building an airtight case. This is what 61 years of black woman grit looks like. Fighting systemic odds her whole life taught her one thing. When they stack the deck against you, you learn to count cards. Her hacker ally, a brilliant kid named Zero she mentored years ago, cracks Marcus's encrypted drives. Miss W, you're gonna want to see this. Files pour across the screen. Years of fraud, meticulously documented. The fool kept records of his own crimes. But inside the penthouse, another war wages. Sophia and Lena sit on opposite ends of the couch, the distance between them measured in betrayal and broken trust. The silence screams louder than words. Finally, Sophia's hands move, trembling. I was weak. Her signs are small, ashamed. I let him manipulate me. I destroyed everything. Can you forgive me? Lena watches those hands, remembering how they first connected over sign language at Le Bernardin. How Sophia became the sister she never had. How love and betrayal can wear the same face. Then she signs back, a sad smile breaking through. Girl, we've all dated disasters. Yours just happened to be my brother. The tension shatters. They collapse into each other, crying and laughing. the kind of messy reconciliation that only comes after surviving hell together. Evelyn watches from the doorway, relief flooding through her. Now we can finish this. The plan is audacious, dangerous, possibly illegal if you squint at certain definitions. They're going to infiltrate Lena's family home while everyone's at Marcus's fraud hearing, searching for the final pieces of the puzzle. It's pure heist movie. Evelyn's security expert bypasses the alarm. Lena guides them through the house she grew up in, each room a museum of trauma. Sophia keeps watch, signing updates from security cameras she's hacked. The study holds the treasure. Locked filing cabinets that Lena's fingerprints still open. Muscle memory from a childhood spent seeking her father's approval. Inside, journals dating back 30 years. Evidence of generational toxicity, a family tree poisoned at the roots. And there, in her father's neat handwriting, the connection. Business deals with Richard Washington from 2 decades ago. A failed partnership that ended in lawsuits and revenge plots. The grudge that metastasized into this conspiracy. Evelyn photographs everything, her hands steady despite the rage boiling beneath her skin. They used our families as weapons against each other. But Sophia's found something else. A lockbox hidden behind law books. Inside, adoption papers. Official documents with Richard's signature, but the biological parents listed as unknown. Sophia's face drains of color. She shows the papers to Evelyn with shaking hands. I'm adopted? Evelyn's world tilts. She never knew. Richard hid it for 23 years, using their daughter as a pawn without Evelyn ever knowing she wasn't biologically hers. The identity crisis hits Sophia like a freight train. Everything she thought she knew about herself crumbles. Every resemblance to her father she imagined. Every genetic trait she claimed, all lies. Lena holds her as she breaks. Evelyn joins them on the floor of this toxic house. 3 women clinging to each other in the wreckage of shattered truths. Blood don't make family. Evelyn's voice is fierce through her tears. Choice does. You're my daughter because I chose to love you every single day. Nothing changes that. Nothing. The evidence goes live at 6 p.m. Leaked to every major news outlet simultaneously. The media erupts. Financial networks run the fraud story on loop. Social media explodes with hashtags. Outside Marcus's building, reporters swarm like sharks, scenting blood. The women watch it unfold from the penthouse, the empire imploding in real time on 50 inches of high-definition justice. Marcus's company stock crashes. Federal investigators issue warrants. The Thompsons' carefully constructed lies disintegrate on live television. It's beautiful. Terrible and beautiful. Then Marcus makes his final play. A video call, his face twisted with desperation. I've got dirt on all of you. Sex scandals, tax issues, secrets that'll destroy you. Back off or I release everything. Evelyn's smile could cut glass. Send it. Her voice is pure confidence. Because whatever you've got is fiction, and I've got an army of lawyers who love a good defamation suit. His bluff called. Marcus crumbles on screen. Checkmate. Punk. Evelyn ends the call. They celebrate with champagne, the expensive kind that tastes like victory. Lena's laughing, free for the first time in years. Sophia's crying happy tears, her identity crisis morphing into liberation. They dance in the living room to old school, R&B, 3 generations of women who refuse to break. But as the night winds down, Evelyn grows quiet. She stands at the window, looking at the city she conquered, and the loneliness creeps in. The vulnerability she usually buries deep. I'm scared. Her voice is small. That when this is over, when you both move on with your lives, I'll be alone again. 61 years old in an empty penthouse with nothing but my empire for company. Sophia and Lena flank her, one on each side. You're not getting rid of us that easy. Lena's smile is warm. We're family now. The real kind. Sophia signs against her mother's shoulder. Forever. No returns, no exchanges. The moment stretches, perfect and fragile. Then Evelyn's phone rings. Unknown number. She almost ignores it, but something makes her answer. Richard's voice, broken and desperate. Evelyn, please, I need to see you. One final meeting. There's something you need to know about Sophia, about everything. The line goes dead. The three women look at each other, victory suddenly tasting like ash. Because in this game, there's always one more twist. Always one more bomb waiting to detonate. Dawn breaks over Manhattan like a promise kept, painting the skyline in shades of gold and redemption. On Evelyn's penthouse balcony, three women stand waiting, the city spreading beneath them like a conquered kingdom. The rising sun feels symbolic, intentional, like even nature knows this is a moment of renewal. Richard Washington arrives at 7 a.m., sharp, escorted by Evelyn's security. He looks destroyed, a man who built his identity on tearing others down, now facing the consequences. His expensive suit hangs wrong, wrinkled from sleepless nights. His eyes are hollow caves where arrogance used to live. Please, his voice cracks. Just listen. Evelyn stands with her arms crossed, backlit by sunrise, a silhouette of unbreakable strength. You've got 5 minutes, then you're gone forever. Richard stumbles through his confession like a man purging poison. It was all me. Every scheme, every manipulation. He looks at Sophia with something that might be regret. I found out you weren't mine biologically right before the divorce. Your mother had an affair. I was furious, broken. So I kept you to hurt her. Sophia's face crumbles, but she stands firm. I used you to access her patents. Used the Thompsons to destroy Lena because Evelyn mentored her. Every move was designed to make Evelyn suffer. His laugh is bitter. I framed Lena to spite your success, Evelyn. If I couldn't have an empire, I'd burn yours down. The words hang in the morning air like smoke from a funeral pyre. Evelyn's voice cuts through, sharp and final. You toxic fools thought you could dim our lights? She steps forward, and the sunrise frames her like a warrior queen. We're not candles you can blow out. We're the damn Sunday. Something snaps in Richard, the last vestiges of control. He lunges at Evelyn, hands reaching for her throat, desperation making him dangerous. But three women move as one. Lena's hands fly in rapid ASL, signing the emergency code to security, watching on cameras. Sophia intercepts Richard's momentum, years of self-defense classes from her overprotective mother finally paying off. She pins his arm with surprising strength, forcing him to his knees. Evelyn doesn't flinch. She stands over him, unmoved, unshaken. This is what you never understood, Richard. Power isn't about breaking people. It's about building them up. Security floods the balcony. NYPD arrives within minutes. Warrants already issued based on the evidence leaked yesterday. Richard Washington is arrested on federal fraud charges, tax evasion, conspiracy. The handcuffs click with the finality of justice served. As they lead him away, Evelyn feels something release inside her chest. A weight she's carried for decades, the ghost of a toxic marriage, finally exorcised. Tears stream down her face, but they're not sad. They're liberation in liquid form. Sophia collapses into her mother's arms, crying so hard her whole body shakes. Lena joins them, and they stand there on the balcony, three women who walked through hell and came out forged in fire. I'm not your biological daughter. Sophia's signs are broken, desperate. Do you still want me? Evelyn pulls back, gripping her daughter's face with both hands. You listen to me. Biology is an accident. Love is a choice. I chose you every single day for 23 years. That's not changing, because some man's DNA is missing. The sun climbs higher, warming them, blessing this moment of healing. The weeks that follow feel like rebirth. Lena's patents are officially restored, her name cleared by federal courts. With Evelyn's investment and guidance, she launches Thompson Accessibility Technologies, building the fintech platform she dreamed of years ago, the one that got stolen, the one she's reclaiming with interest. The first product launch sells out in 48 hours. Financial magazines call her a revolutionary. The girl who once served seafood to billionaires now sits on panels with them. Sophia starts therapy, real therapy, working through the identity crisis and years of manipulation. Her art becomes raw, powerful, exhibitions selling out across Manhattan. Critics call her work trauma transformed into beauty. She calls it survival made visible. Evelyn watches them both flourish, her heart full in ways money never achieved. She builds a mentoring program for women escaping toxic families, using her resources to fund fresh starts. Every scholarship bears one message: we rise by lifting each other, no more chains. 3 months after Richard's arrest, they're back at Le Bernardin. Same table, same view, different universe. Lena's their server tonight, but not because she works here. She owns a piece of the restaurant now, part of her investment portfolio. She brings them champagne, the expensive kind that tastes like victory. Who knew a seafood dinner would serve up this much drama? Lena grins, pouring with flourish. They laugh, the sound echoing through the restaurant, drawing smiles from other diners who don't know the story but feel the joy. Evelyn raises her glass, her eyes shining. I've got a proposal. Her New York accent softens with emotion. Joint venture, the three of us, using our combined expertise to build something revolutionary. Tech accessibility meets art therapy, meets business empire. We change the game for everyone who's ever been told they're not enough. Sophia's hands fly in excited ASL. Yes, absolutely yes. Lena's smile could light the whole city. Partners? Family first. Evelyn corrects. Partners, second. Their glasses clink, the sound crystalline and perfect. Outside the windows, Manhattan glitters with possibility. A city of 8 million stories, and theirs is just beginning its best chapter. The toxic cycles are broken. The reputation is restored. Financial security rebuilt stronger than before. But more than any of that, they've found what money can't buy: real family, chosen and cherished. Evelyn looks at these two women, her daughter and her protégé, and sees the future. Not just hers, but theirs together. Building, creating, lifting each other higher. Their laughter echoes over the city, carrying on the wind, a testament to resilience. To revenge served cold and justice served hot. To lives rebuilt from ashes into empires. The sun sets over New York, but for Evelyn Washington, Sophia Washington, and Lena Thompson, it feels like dawn. And in this city that never sleeps, 3 women who refuse to break are wide awake and ready for anything. If you've ever felt trapped by toxic family, dimmed by someone else's jealousy, or told your dreams were too big, remember this: you're not alone. Your story isn't over. And sometimes the family you choose becomes the greatest triumph of all. Share this story if you believe in second chances, fierce women, and the power of rising together. Because we all deserve to be the Sunday